Hi Jenny, I'm glad that you were able to come into the office. Thanks so much for making the trip here. Did you find it okay?
Yep, I did. Thanks for the directions.
Good, it's not easy. I almost feel bad when we have meetings here, so if it becomes a hassle, I can always come out to you. So, the reason we wanted to meet is what we talked about a little bit on the phone, is just to get really to know you a little bit better. Most importantly, answer questions that you have, and kind of just see where we can go from here. So I don't know much about sort of your children in case, so that's kind of where I'll get some information today from you. So if you don't mind, if you just would start by talking about yourself and kind of how you're feeling right now about things.
I'm pretty frustrated. My kids were taken, and I still don't really know why they were taken. I mean, my son had a broken leg, but it could have happened anywhere. We don't know where it happened. So I feel bad that they're blaming me. And they put my kids with my dad, and he doesn't like me. So now I can't really see my kids.
Okay. So it sounds like you're frustrated because the courts and CPS are blaming you for the broken leg. And the kid, are all of the kids placed with your dad currently?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So tell me how visits are going. How much contact you've had with the kids so far?
I get to see the kids twice a week at the agency. It's pretty hard because my kids, I have a newborn, so it's hard to take care of him and watch all the other kids. There's not a lot of stuff for the kids to do, so they're really bored, and then they start to get in trouble. But I have to take care of the baby too. So visits are hard. Sometimes I don't want to go. It's just so stressful.
So if you don't mind me asking, what was a good day like with all the kids back in the home?
We had a routine. I had it down, and the girls would go to school, and the boys would stay home with me, and we would watch TV. We would have lunch. They would take their naps. Everything was fine. There wasn't any problems.
Okay, but just because of all of them being there at the same time, maybe if you wanted in the future, if you wanted the visits to be split up or something like that, if you're feeling a little bit too overwhelmed, because coming to the visits is showing a lot of strength and commitment for the kids, and so we would want that to continue for the kids and for you, and so if there's any way we can make that better for you, trying to split up the visits at times and then maybe going back to having all of them, should you want that.
I think visits would be easier if they were in my house, because the problem is the kids get bored. The toys there are boring for the kids. They don't want to be there. They just want to come home.
Okay. Well, I think that sounds like something that we can talk about. I think you bring up a very valid point. There's limited things to do in an office, and with being super mom during the visits, that's difficult. If you had more things to do during the visits, it would be helpful for you. So, tell me a little bit about your family and kind of important people in your lives. Why we do that is just so that possibly in the future, if you felt comfortable with them coming to some meetings and things like that, they don't have to be family, they can be church members, things like that. So if you don't mind just telling me about some people that you confide in.
Well, I live with my boyfriend. He's the father of 3 of the kids, and he's really supportive. So he definitely should be at the meetings because he's the kid's dad, and the girls look at him as a father too. My dad can be supportive. He has the kids, but he's also mad at me about what happened. So I don't really know how I feel about him right now. My mom, I don't really talk to my mom much. She used to be a support, but now I don't talk to her. My brother helps me out with the kids a lot.
Okay, so it sounds like you have some family members where you have closer connections than others. I just want to say with your dad, a lot of times when we get involved with families, a lot of different family members have different opinions or perspectives of kind of what happened because they don't know the whole story. And maybe at some point in the future, if you did feel comfortable with him coming, we could sort of talk about that so he can kind of get, all of the information and he doesn't think it's so much about you, because we're not trying to blame you. We want actual support at the meeting. So what would you like to see as far as visitation? I know that you talked about it in your home. And what are some things that you think need to happen in order for that to move in home?
Well, I need to have a safe home, I know that, and I do. I live there with the kids, and so I don't really know what's stopping. I know that one of the problems was that my aunt that was living with me, but I don't even talk to her anymore. I haven't seen her since the incident. So I don't see why the kids can't come to my home. I have everything they need.
And what was going on with your aunt being in the home with the children?
Well, my child, she had some methadone, and one of my kids found it, and he took a pill. But nothing happened because they couldn't prove who it was.
Okay.
But she's gone now, and I've cleaned the house, and there's no more pills.
Okay. So it sounds like you're taking all the right steps once you did find out about that, and that really shows your commitment to your child. How did you handle the situation with your aunt when you learned about this?
I haven't seen her since it happened. She left, and I don't want to see her because I wouldn't be able to control myself.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you're aware of how you're feeling towards her, and maybe that feel some type of guilt that this could have been prevented or something because she was in your house. So it sounds like, though, that things are going well at the house right now, and maybe in the next few visits we could have a home visit at home to kind of go through your house and show me your house if you felt comfortable.
Yeah, I would like that. I would definitely like that. You can come over anytime.
Okay. One thing I like to go over with parents is just how court has been going. If you had any questions about that or the process, because it can be very intimidating as a whole. So do you have any questions about court or questions in general?
Well, I don't really understand what's happening because I didn't do anything wrong. So I don't know why we have to keep going back to court. I mean, the judge he doesn't even really talk to me in court. It's just all the attorneys are talking and nobody tells me what they're talking about.
And I can see that it's frustrating because a lot of times they don't allow the clients to actually talk, but I think generally what the court is looking at is just sort of obviously what occurred, and then kind of seeing how we can eliminate those risks in order for your children to come back. So even though it was sort of a one-time incident and things like that, they're going to want to make sure that things are in place before the children come back. So just like you came in today to meet with me, that's great, and sort of our continued contact will be able to help with that process.
Okay. So what are we going to do next?
So probably in the next couple of weeks, I'll come back up to your house, and then I would like to kind of observe you during the visits with your children, and really just get to know more about you and your family, and then kind of see, like we talked about, maybe having a meeting with some of your family members and close people to kind of see if they could be sort of a support to you and your children, because it's sounding like, as you told me during the visit, it is stressful with all the children, and so we kind of want to help you with that. So when the kids do come home, it's not as big of impact, and you're kind of gradually getting used to it. So I know our time is cutting short today, but I want to thank you so much for coming into the office. I know that you have expressed a lot of anger, and I appreciate you even just coming here because a lot of times it's hard to do that. So hopefully in the next week I can come out to the house and then periodically come to visits and talk with you about that, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.